Alright, welcome to episode 3 of Destination Duna with me, your host, 3 Martini Launch. After the last episode, 2.5, is when the KSP version 0.21 came out, and it broke my save game, so I went ahead and relaunched those missions. I also made some minor modifications of the two ships that went up, basically to take advantage of some of the newer parts that they had, and as well as getting rid of the ASS. They got rid of ASS, so I had those ASS controllers on there, so I got rid of those. We're going to take a look at what I got. I also got a better injection into better ejection from the moon to Duna, and we'll take a look at that. You can see here some of the changes I made. You can see those little probes. Now instead of using this size fuel tank, they used the one that's half as big, and then they got that new little Rockamax 48.7S engine on there instead of the LV909. So I really like the performance of this a bit better. Likewise on the orbital probe, I went, rather than using those donuts and little mini cans or whatever they're called, I went with again the FLT100 or whatever it is, and used 4 radial ant engines rather than the single ant engine. Anyways, if we take a look at the map, you can see my encounter is now just 46 days away. And if we tab, oh yeah, they also changed the tab order of the bodies. So I told you 7 tabs before, now it's going to be 8 or 9 depending on whether or not you have a maneuver node. Anyways, look at this encounter, 46 days out. I think that's excellent. I will be arrow braking, so as I get closer, I'll go ahead and probably wait until I get to the sphere of influence. I'll go ahead and drop this down to 12,500 meters. So I think that's about it. So I'll go ahead and we'll get into the hangar, or the VAB, and I'll show you what I'm working on now. Alright, in the VAB, let's go ahead and open up the spaceship. I'm going to send a mining rig up this time around. Let's take a look at it. They also increased the load times for pretty much everything, so a lot of that I'll be editing out. This one didn't have to. Let's take this off and take a look. Now, first thing you're going to notice is the weight. This is well beyond the 25 tons that I'm allowed to launch. And I recently added a new plug-in. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. TAC fuel editor or something that will allow me to dump fuel on the launch pad. So I'm going to empty out both of these tanks, and I'm going to empty out each one of these tanks halfway, the RCS tanks, and that'll give me just a little under 25 tons for the launch. This is also going to be the first launch that includes Kerbals. Now again, if I remember, I kind of modified the rules for the Duna Permanent Outpost Mission Architecture Challenge to not require supply for anybody in the Kerbin Sphere of Influence. So I'll still only be putting 2 people in the hitchhiker can. They're going to be up there for a while. But I'm going to assume that they get regular, airdrops or moon drops or whatever of supplies. Now this doesn't launch until day 60, and I think on day 57 is when the Duna recon ship is going to enter Duna's sphere of influence. So this is all going to be happening pretty close. So what I'm going to do is get on the launch pad and switch to the post commentary while I speed up the video and talk about what's happening there. So I'll see you there. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more real time here on the launch pad. I've got this plug-in at TAC Fuel Balance. There's the name. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my liquid fuel, and I've got the first 2 fuel tanks there. What I'm going to be working with. Let's go ahead and click and dump. Click and dump. And that's going to empty out all that fuel. You can see here my weight's going down. I've got to get it down to 177.77. And actually it can be a little bit higher than that. I forgot the exact number, but that takes me down to definitely below 25 tons for the launch. There's all the liquid fuel gone. I take out the oxidizer as well. Dump, dump, dump. This one's really handy. I found another one, I think it was called fuel vents, and it basically acted like engines with no thrust. So they'd burn up the fuel pretty quickly. It was kind of nice, but it took extra parts. This one doesn't take any parts on the spaceship, so I kind of like it for that. Down to 180.77. So I'm going to empty one of those big monopropellant tanks on the side. And here's another feature of this. I'm sure it will come in handy at some point, but I don't know exactly when, but I'm sure it will. Alright, it's empty, and you can see I'm down to 177.77. I'm going to choose balance, and I'm going to balance with the other one. That's going to go ahead and just put 50% of the fuel in each one of these tanks. So I'm down to the 177.77. I also wanted to show the Kerbal alarm clock. I've got the Kethane Recon is going to get into Duna's sphere of influence in 46 days. I'm going to add a new item here on an actual date. It's going to be day 110. And 0 hours, 0 minutes. And we're actually going to pause on that one. So there we go. We've got 46 days and 48 days. So it's about 2.5 days difference there. Anyways, now I'll go ahead and switch back to post commentary and speed this up so you don't have to sit through a long, boring lunch. All right, here we are in post commentary, and of course I can't launch yet. I've got a ship coming into a Duna encounter I have to deal with first. It's coming in a couple of days earlier, and here we go. And you can see my Kerbal alarm clock there. Can't live without it. Going on, and what do we got there? Okay, I set that encounter. Coming to the sphere of influence of Duna. And if you recall, I set up a pretty tight encounter from 46 days out. Shooting anti-radial to bring that to orbit down. Now they've changed the model of Duna. Duna looks pretty much a little more awesome, I think, than it used to. But they also changed some of the orbital characteristics. I've launched dozens, if not hundreds, of missions to Duna before, and I've always aerobraked at 12.5 kilometers. I've never gotten the flame effects at 12.5 kilometers. And it's always put me into a nice low Dunar orbit, Dunal orbit, whatever you want to call it. I came in at 12 point. This is not my first attempt, by the way, what you're witnessing here. Earlier, I'd come in at 12.5 kilometers, thinking everything was hunky-dory. I got the flame effects, which, according to the rules of the Duna Permanent Outpost Mission Architecture Challenge, would indicate destruction unless I had some kind of heat shield set up, and of course I don't here. So I got the flame effects, and it did not put me into orbit. It still had an escape, leaving the sphere of influence. Came in at 13 kilometers instead of 12.5. Same thing, barely got the flame effects, but enough to destroy me. And of course, didn't put me into orbit, so I had to go a little further. I think I came in at 14 kilometers here, and another rule of the Duna Permanent Outpost Mission Architecture Challenge is I may not fire the LVNs within the atmosphere of Kerbin or Duna, so I had to wait until I was at like 42 kilometers before burning retro. So I came in at 14,000 for aerobraking, fired. Established a minimal orbit, and I figure I'll continue to do some more air braking lap after lap, doing a couple laps around to bring that orbit down. And I think it's getting close to the point where I'll be switching over to the here we go, as a matter of fact, switching over to the Kethane mining rig. If you recall, I dropped the fuel out of those top two Rockomax 32s. Dropped half the fuel out of each of those RCS tanks, so the thing is under 25 tons. You'll also notice got some of those radial rocket engines on the sides. obviously there's no fuel in the thing, so it's not going to be using those engines now. But at some point in the future, I'll be on Minmus, and maybe I'll mine out a particular area. That should be plenty to move me around. In fact, based on the Delta V, I don't think it could have taken me, gotten airborne off of Kerbin, but certainly off of the Moon or off of Minmus, I won't have any trouble moving me around. Anyways, doing a normal orbital situation here. I've come to go to a little less than 45 degrees come that 10,000 meter altitude. And then once I drop that last pair of tanks, I'll be at a little above 30,000 meters. Click on the prograde for the Smart ASS, and it'll slowly tilt me over as I go. It's just awesome. Again, it's not quite an automated lift. I don't think that Big Jeb can lift my ship without explosions. Haven't really tried, so I'm not sure. But previous models, he couldn't pilot. Though I have to admit, the Pony 25 is pretty solid. I think Big Jeb probably could do it. But anyways, I did it here, and I'm setting myself up at 125,000 meter parking orbit. Yeah, 125,000 there. Go ahead and bring up that periapsis, and let's see what I'm doing here. And my stopwatch just went out. How do I turn that puppy back on? That button. There we go. Okay. No, and gonna go ahead and normalize that orbit. And no, turn the other way. There we go. Okay. And we're normalized. Go ahead and kick. Oh, that's right. Get rid of some of that mono propellant. Make that ship as light as possible, and then eject the last stack of the lifter. Come on, let's eject, and oh, there we go. And keeping with my policy of no trash in space, we're going to go ahead and deorbit that last section of the lifter. Yep, no problem there. Back to the mining rig. Eventually, one of the new features that they introduced in 0.21 is increased loading times. Anyways, I'll point north and south. Again, the reason behind that is the ship stays pointed north and south as it goes around the orbit. So when you come into dock, you point the opposite north or south to go ahead and hit that particular docking ring. Let's look around the inside of that hitchhiker can. Got some board games going on there, some food, some not food. Okay, I think we're good to go there. Let's go ahead and switch back to the Duna recon vessel eventually. Yeah, and I've got a very high periapsis. I'm going to go ahead and bring my apoapsis a little bit, not that far. I want to bring it back. I want to leave it in the atmosphere. There we go, about 20 kilometers, 20 kilometers. And once again, use that Kerbal alarm clock. If you're not using this, you got to wonder why. You just tell it, okay, zoom me to 1 minute before periapsis, and it does just that. And again, this will take me through the atmosphere, slow me down, bringing down that apoapsis a bit from 36 million meters down to something a little more reasonable. I'll probably take more than one lap to bring that down. And my cigar has gone out. I've got a lighter here. By the way, I'm I'm smoking a Partagas Black Label cigar. $10 cigar. It's pretty Pretty awesome. Let me get that lit up again. Tasty. So, once again, bringing that apoapsis down by arrow braking. And going around. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. And as soon as I get to 40,000, 42,000 meters, whatever, I can go ahead and time warp. Come on, anytime now. There we go. And I'm going to take one more lap at the arrow braking. Ooh, I've also got a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale ready to open. Let's open that right in front of the mic. Okay, not bad, not bad. And I know I'm 3 martini launch. I did have my 3 martinis and switched over to Sierra Nevada. This is number 2 on the Pale Ale, if it matters. And once again, doing some arrow braking. You know, I tried to speed this video up to a 6x rather than 4x, so I could talk for 10 minutes rather than 15. And the video was just too fast to follow. Maybe it was my alcohol-addled mind or whatnot, but it was just going way too fast. 4x, maybe I should try 5x at some point, though I'm not sure exactly. I guess I get to 2.5x. I don't know how to work that 5x out. Maybe I'd give that a try at some point. Anyways, not this particular one. Anyhow, doing a little more arrow braking. Come on. And let's see what you got. Move that mouse, move something. Okay, I'm at 31,000, 32, 33. I think I did physics warp. Finally. And okay, setting the Kerbal alarm to alert me when I get to apoapsis. Doing just that. And let's bring that periapsis out of the atmosphere. Got 30,000. No, I'm leaving it in, going one more lap. I'm not sure what my logic is here. Again, I'm in post-commentary, so I'm not sure what I was thinking at the time. I'm already in an orbit that's well inside of Ike's orbit, and Ike is my ultimate destination, so I'm not sure why I'm doing this. And I don't know if did it save me any fuel? Did it waste me any fuel? I'm not really sure. Anyways, still going down, 30,000. Going back up, 39, 40, 41, 42. Let's go ahead and warp. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Hit apoapsis, and okay. Hopefully, I'll be bringing that periapsis up this time out of the atmosphere. 50 or 60,000, something like that. We got 60, 70, 71,000. Okay, that'll work. And then, that's right, I think I had some trouble trying to find an Ike encounter. Well, let's see how I did here. Oh, that's right. First I have to normalize my inclination. Because, I'm inclined to normalize. Right, 0.754, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. Okay, there we go. We got that inclination taken care of. And again, I love the maneuver note. And in fact, this is more than maneuver note. I went ahead and just modified a settings file somewhere and changed the context value to 0. So even without the improved maneuver note, it always shows me the proposed intercept at the target body. And you can see, well, I've got nothing going on at Ike right now, but you noticed it earlier, and I'm sure that well, you'll be seeing it later as well. So what do we got going on here? Okay, bring that orbit up, and probably going to stop right on
time to delete the maneuver node, but I'm sure I'm going to stay pointed prograde. And there we go. There we go. Shooting a little bit more, and you can see in the upper right, you can see my proposed encounter, and I'm waiting for it to. There we go. Ooh, 57,000 meters. Not too bad. And again, this is going to be dropping off a orbital Kethane probe and two landers, so I don't have to get myself in any particular circular orbit or what have you. Just have to get it in orbit of some kind. I think for the probe, I have to be within 200,000 meters for the probe to reach. So 57. What am I looking at? 58,000 right now, and it'll probably be 57 or lower by the time I bring that orbit down. Let's go. Okay. 150, 140, 30, 20, 10, 100,000, 80, 70,000, 65. Okay, good enough. Good enough. Let's go ahead and set off that orbiter. I put docking ports on these probes so they can come up and dock at some point in the future. Earlier models had some RCS fuel tanks on them, but that dropped their delta V from like 2,800 down to 1,000 or 1,500. So I got rid of the RCS, but still kept the docking ports. So we're running out of time. So it looks like this is going to be it. If you like the video, please like the video, and I think I'm gonna see you next time. Take it easy. This is 3 Martini Launch out.